I would like to introduce my good friend, Chlora Lindley-Myers, the NAIC President and Director of the Missouri Department of Commerce and Insurance, who will be offering some welcome remarks. Chlora.
Good morning to everyone, and that does include Commissioner Mays. Welcome to the NAIC 2023 International Insurance Forum. I am very proud to announce that this event sold out over 5 weeks ago. That's almost as fast as a Taylor Swift concert. But maybe not so, but we did have so many responses, we had to start a waiting list. This tells me that the topics we plan to cover are important and relevant. Knowing how busy you all are, we appreciate that you chose to join us over this next day and a half. This year, we have nearly 250 participants, a great mix of stakeholders, federal colleagues, commissioners, and state insurance department staff, as well as our international supervisors from many countries. This is truly our flagship international event. Over the next day and a half, we will discuss several issues important to the insurance sector, which includes investing, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, natural catastrophe risk, and infrastructure. But perhaps the recurring theme for our event will be the gaps, the cyber gaps, the infrastructure gaps, the climate gaps, and of course, the knowledge gap. Closing insurance protection gaps remain a key focus for U.S. state regulators, our fellow supervisors worldwide, and the insurance sector at large. We understand how important insurance is to well-functioning and thriving communities, industries, and economies. And where we see gaps in coverage and where we know that there is a large impact that can reach far beyond the industry and our consumers, we want to make sure that we are there. As the global insurance community moves forward with this work, we all face similar issues regardless of the differences of our jurisdictions, market size, and regulatory systems. We're asking important questions as we tackle the challenges that lie before us. As we think about the area of climate risk and resilience, we're asking how we will ensure that the risk is accounted for and disclosed while ensuring that products remain affordable and available to those who need it. And at the intersection of technology, issues, and insurance, we're thinking about how we can address changes to how people interact with their insurance companies and vice versa. How can we manage to stay ahead of the curve and maintain a high level of consumer protection? As supervisors of a global industry responsible for financial oversight and transparency, do we have sufficient insight into the alternative investments of our sector? And do we have the tools in place to protect against the same investment and liquidity turmoil that has shaken the banking sector? Our protection of consumers is our most important role. Nothing else we do here today matters if our consumers cannot participate with understanding and confidence in our market. Are we doing enough to foster insurance markets and products that balance innovation and competition while providing transparency and consumer safety? And in the same spirit, can all individuals enjoy the same benefits and promises from our sector, whether we're talking about our products and services or job opportunities? We want to ensure that everyone who needs insurance, and everyone does, can get insurance at a fair and reasonable price, regardless of their race, gender, or other unique characteristics. Over this next day and a half, I look forward to hearing from colleagues from other jurisdictions industry, and consumer advocates as we explore common challenges and work together to answer some of those challenging questions. I hope that when we leave here tomorrow, we will take with us some new insights and a shared commitment to work together to meet the challenges ahead. While we are certainly focused on addressing existing gaps, we must pay attention of hidden gaps, those that could become additional barriers in our work. These hidden gaps are things we can't necessarily see, but they do exist and certainly impact some of our other work. For instance, the training gap. As supervisors, we must continue to evolve and adapt to the latest technology and practices of the industry. This means we must remain committed to learning, growing, listening, and leading. And there are many issues on which supervisors can collaborate, especially in the area of technological advances. In particular, I know that the IAIS is doing great work on training through its outside partnerships. I would be remiss if I didn't also note that the NAIC's Professional Designation Program for training U.S. regulators and the NAIC's International Fellows Program for bringing regulators together from many jurisdictions and introducing them to the latest initiatives in the United States. These programs are critical to the successful training of the next generation of regulators, and I look forward to seeing their continued work and progress. Another important hidden gap is the education gap. Consumers, including all of us in this room, need access to the latest information in an easy-to-understand format, and it has to also be easy to digest to help educate us about the best products, best methodologies which are available to meet our needs. We need to learn from each other, and I can share that state regulators are leading the conversation in the United States regarding protecting consumers from deceptive and misleading marketing. A prepared consumer makes better decisions, and we're working to ensure that consumers have all of the information and understand best practices in preparing for climate events. Consumers must learn to make preparations, not only to survive these events, but to recover financially after an event has occurred. And a very important gap we cannot afford to ignore is the communication gap. We must be intentional about communicating with each other to continue pushing the industry successfully forward into the 21st century. We learned this lesson during the challenges of the last financial crisis and the global pandemic. We also have seen how crucial communication can be when dealing with difficult topics or when there might be differing views. For example, ongoing communication has helped us better understand and collaborate on ICS AM comparability, assess macroprudential risk to the sector, share best practices for financial security, and spot emerging challenges at a greater distance. As we move forward, it remains imperative for supervisors from around the world to continue to exchange best practices and continue to share the knowledge that we've all gained, especially the lessons learned over the past 3 years. And while we may all come from a variety of different political viewpoints, different geographical regions, experiences, and perspectives, we have common goals. Our commitment to supporting one another fuels our growth and progress in a world filled with global uncertainty, challenges, and divisions. Being aware of these hidden gaps will help us strengthen our relationship and work going forward to provide a fair, safe, and stable marketplace, offering products that our consumers need. We have an incredible slate of speakers and moderators, and we also have Commissioner Mays. I know that we will touch on issues of concern to all of us in a productive respectful, and enlightening way. I want to thank you so much for your time, your energy, and engagement, and I want to welcome you all to the International Forum. Thank you.